Well, welcome back to my old ranch. Today, I'm going to talk about my 1997 Ford Expedition. I've had a P0401 and 402 error go on and off for actually a couple of years. And it finally got to where it was really running bad. So I figured out a way. It took me 5 minutes, it cost me about $5 to fix this. And so far, it seems to be doing well. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Now, in this video, I'm going to first kind of go over the system and what the system does and to explain why this works. And then I'm going to show you how it works. Doesn't take very long. It's actually very easy. So stick with me. If you like what I'm doing, please comment. Let me know if it works for you and the results that you got. And also, please like, subscribe. So please stay with me. Okay, I have my MaxiScan scanner. I bought a good while back. It didn't cost me very much, but I don't remember what I paid for it. But we're going to plug it in. And I've got to turn the key on. We're going to do a scan. And then we hit enter again. And it says fault 4 P0401 and 402. Now the 401 is not enough air coming from the exhaust and into the manifold. And the 402 is too much. So that tells me that my valve is probably working, but it's got a sensor problem or something like that. So I'm going to show you a quick way to make this go away. Okay, now what we have here, right here is the vacuum valve that opens and closes the EGR valve. And then you've got the solenoid here, a couple of vacuum tubes, and then you have these two. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. It's pretty dirty, but anyways, these two that go up to this sensor right here. And these two hoses here go down and come straight off of the exhaust. And this is what puts pressure or lets the computer know how much pressure is being put from the exhaust into the intake manifold. So the hot exhaust manifold air comes through this tube into the bottom of this valve right here and then into the intake manifold. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this hose here off, and I've got a short piece of tubing that I'm going to hook onto here. I'm actually going to create the suction with my mouth. It'd be nice if I had one of those vacuum hand little pump things to pull the vacuum down. I don't. So this is the quick way that I'm going to do it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this tube off like this. And the first thing I'm going to do while the engine's cold, make sure you do this when the engine's cold, is I'm going to take carburetor cleaner and I'm going to squirt it down that tube, let it go down into this tube that comes from the exhaust, and then I'm going to put this hose back on, and I'm going to start it up, and I'm going to let some of this carburetor cleaner go up into this sensor here, or this for the computer, and let it clean it. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to while this hose is out like this, I'm going to put another hose, and then, like I said, I'm going to suck on it, and then I'm going to have to handle the throttle. It'd be nice if I had somebody to help me. I'd have them get inside, and I'd have them hold the RPM at around 1,500 to 2,000 RPMs while I put the carburetor cleaner into the system. Now, the other thing you want to do when you start off, take the hose here, start it up, and I'll show you that, and then put suction on it, and the engine will die. If this valve is okay and your passages aren't plugged up, the engine will die because it'll give it too much fresh air without fuel. So let's do that. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this hose off, the small one. There's two of them here. There's a large one and a small one. And I'm going to take, and I'm just using Super Tech carburetor cleaner from Walmart. It cost me about $5. And while the engine's cold and off, I spray the fluid down in there. And I spray a fair amount. That will put carburetor cleaner into this tube. Then I put it back on, and let's start up the engine real quick, and I'll let the fluid go up into that sensor. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this hose off of here, and I'm going to take this hose. You see, that's about, what is that? What is this? Maybe an 1/8 inch, I think, line. And I'm going to put it on here. And this hose is still attached at the moment. Now watch what happens when I start it. So I've got this hose. What I'm going to do, I'm going to suck on it to create a vacuum. Now that's how you can tell that the valve is working. Now, what I'm going to do, pull this hose off. That's a small one. I'm going to get my carburetor cleaner here. I'm going to put it down into the hose there. Notice, you can't see this, if I spray it now, see it's bubbling out because the air is coming out. Now, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put suction on this, and we'll open that valve and let that carburetor cleaner go in through the EGR valve. And then I'm going to have to grab the throttle, which is here, to keep it from dying. It will die. Did what I didn't want it to do. Thankfully, it didn't go down inside there. All right, so let's try this again. All right, ready? All right, I'll put that back on. Disconnect this hose. Put this one here back on it. And we are good to go. Now I've tried this. I did this just the first test on it, and it worked. And so I wanted to come back and clean it more thoroughly. And I used pretty much this whole can in cleaning this. And so far, it's running great. My P0401 and my 402, which, okay, let me explain something. The 401 is not enough air coming from the exhaust into the motor. And the 402 is too much. And that's one of the reasons that it gave me the idea to do this, because that's telling me the sensors aren't working correctly. So this is what I did. Quick, easy. I hope it works for you. Please let me know in the comments if there's a better idea, you come up with something different. Please let me know. And like, subscribe, and we'll see you again on my old ranch.